Hi guys, this is your Carlos. On today's video, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on Loki season 2, episode 3, Loki at the fair, and the amazing Don Kang. Don, like Mafia Don, so like Mafia Don. First of all, guys, sorry that I've been on a kind of a kind of a kind of a hiatus, guys, but I've been battling the flu, an extreme case of the flu. So that's why I haven't been uh, posting or doing any of my YouTube videos. So now that's it. Now that the cat is out of the bag, I'll now that I'm feeling better, I'll continue. I'll be trying to post as much as possible, and that's why I'm catching up. So that's why I've been missing out. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and here we go with my review of Loki season 2, episode 3. Loki at the fair, and the amazing Don Kang. Don Kang. So what I really loved about this third episode was that we got to finally find out where Renslayer and Miss Minutes got themselves, what time and place and what year they got themselves into, and that was 1868 Chicago. Apparently Miss Minutes again. Apparently Miss Minutes found a young version of the one who a young version of the one who remains, probably 12-year-old Kang in 1860. Some 12-year-old version of Kang in 1860 in Chicago 1868, and apparently this version of Kang, this Chicago 1868 version of Kang, created the TVA manual, the one that OB studied and read page by page and memorized it very well. But according to Miss Minutes, that is the key. According to Miss Minutes, that young version of Kang is the key for them to overtake and take over again the TVA and rule it with an iron fist. Of course, with another variant of Kang, of the one, with another version of the one who remains. But luckily, X5, yes, our old friend X5, the X, or the former TVA, the TVAP member, or time variant police, gave our good old friends Loki and his good old friend Loki and his combative and sometimes argumentative pal Mobius the location of you know of 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 Renslayer and Miss Minutes. So that's the case. So after after realizing after after realizing that 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 uh, Loki and Mobius were on the trail, Miss Minutes had this evil evil and crazy idea to time travel to 1868 Chicago and give this 12-year-old version of 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 Kang the book basically the TVA manual. Then later meet then travel to 1892. Then after giving this young version of Kang an easy place to find the book, which Miss Minutes left the TVA manual book near this 12-year-old version of Kang's house in 1860 in Chicago. Then they would meet, or they would find a young a more mature but still young variant of Kang who in 1892 had traveled or had come upon the 1892 World's Fair, where back in the day in U.S. history, the World's Fair was basically like a fair where inventors like Thomas Edison would show off their X-ray machine and other innovative stuff that would lead us to what we know now, basically what we're living right now, to the iPad, and basically it was just a fair of awesome stuff. But anyway, so Loki and Mobius got a big smell of what Miss Minutes and Renslayer's plan were to get this 1892 version of the one who remains and lead him to his future reign of the TVA, basically guiding him towards what Renslayer and Miss Minutes know what he could become. So Loki and Mobius decided to go into to Chicago 1868, but they couldn't find and and couldn't find uh Rensley or Miss Minutes or the one who remains, the younger version. But again, the younger version of the one who remains in Chicago in 1868 was just a 12-year-old boy. So they decided to travel to the most logical place that they could think of. Both, uh, both, both Mobius and Loki decided to let's switch our plan. We can't find Renslayer and Miss Minutes, and we can't find the TVA manual. So, and we can't even find uh, the one who remains. So they decided to travel to the same place, to the same state, basically Chicago, or to the same area, but in 1892, to be more specific, like I said, to the World's Fair of Chicago in 1892, where they would hope both Mobius and Loki would hopefully to them would hopefully find Renslayer and Miss Minutes, and hopefully in turn find the one who remains variant of Chicago 1892's version of Kang, of the one who remains. But so, and then Loki and Mobius could bring all three of them to fix the TVA time branch debacle, and hopefully preventing the TVA from exploding from the uncontrollable timeline branch debacle, and therefore the TVA from collapsing from the time branch uncontrollable creating process. So that was the whole plan. But when they got there, first of all, Mobius had the wonderful idea, and this was my favorite funny part of the whole of this whole episode 3, was that instead of going to find and locate the one who remains and Miss Minutes and Renslayer, instead of going and locating Renslayer and Miss Minutes and the one who remains right away, Mobius decided to go when they got to the World's Fair in Chicago 1892. Mobius decided to go and have some fun, basically go and have some Cracker Jacks. Therefore, hence his sweet conversation with Loki. And Loki was like, "Dude, Mobius, usually you're the voice of reason. And you tell me not to do stuff and concentrate on what we're doing, or what we're doing in this case, and most of all, what I should be doing. And in a funny way, Loki said, without saying these words specifically, me being the voice of reason is it's a bad look. It's a bad look for me. It's a bad look for me. But Mobius was like, relax, chill, dude, chill, relax, eat, try some Cracker Jacks, try some Cracker Jacks, and and Loki was like, no, I don't want. No, first of all, I don't know what a Cracker Jack is. Second of all, I bet it's not good. Third, we should go find the one who remains, and Miss Minutes, and of course Renslayer. So after having a little spat, or having a funny argument, Loki relented to trying a piece of a cracker jack from Mobius's Cracker Jack bag. And when Loki tasted the Cracker Jack, he was like, they're not bad. They're not bad. They're pretty tasty. Weird, tasty, but disgusting. The sound of Cracker Jack. And then Mobius was there, and Loki was like, okay, now that I have tried your Cracker Jack, your famous Cracker Jacks, Mobius. Let's go and find Miss Minutes, and of course Renslayer, and the one who remains. And Mobius was like, oh, Loki, hold on. You are the type of person that likes to rush into things, and basically I'm not that way. I'm more of a methodical investigator. So that's what they did. They did the Mobius way. So both Loki and Mobius went to. They saw a line of a crap of a line of a group of a cluster of fair goers, and they were like both Loki and Mobius were like, let's check this place where a cluster of fair goers are lining up to see. And fair enough, or as fate would have it, at this bar slash exhibit showcase, the one who remains variant, variant was there. And in this variant, in this Chicago's World's Fair, 1892's World's Fair version of Kang, was showing off his new invention, the teller, or in Spanish, el telar. The teller basically it's I would call it a time ring. Basically, the whole gist of it, and you can check me on this. It's a time ring. It would send an object, meaning in this case an object map, for example, to any given time in history. That's the whole gist of it. So this variant of Kang is not called Kang. I'm Kang. I'm Kang. Whatever my last name is. This time variant of the one who remains is called Victor Timely. Now, Victor Timely, he, when we first saw him, just like, I guess like many of you guys, when we first saw him, we were like, yeah, he looks like a, first of all, cool name, and when we first saw him, like many of you guys, I'm guessing, we're like, yes, he's a total nerd, total nerd, and he doesn't fit the description of a future future timeline conqueror. But like I said, Renslayer and Miss Minutes were there too. Basically, their plan was to go to the exhibit, go to Victor's exhibit, and then basically convince him and kidnap him, convince Victor Timely / kidnap him voluntarily, of course, and show him and guide him to his future self of the timeline conqueror that we he would become and control the TVA in season 1. But here's the deal. Yes. Here's the deal. Victor Timely looked like a nerd. He stuttered like a nerd, which I stuttered too. So in a way, I really enjoyed Victor Timely because he stuttered when he spoke, and that gave me like cool. That gave me a sense of connection with a villain. But yes, Victor Timely stuttered and he looked like a nerd, and he was very intelligent, but he didn't fit the bill of a future of a future timeline conqueror. But like I said, that was the whole. That's the whole. That was the whole. That is the whole plan of of Renslayer and Miss Minutes to convince uh, Victor Timely that he's the future leader of a future TVA, and he could rule it with a time with a timeline iron fist with them with both them, meaning Renslayer herself and Miss Minutes intel, like the three heads of three heads of government of the TVA. So, and the one thing, but the most important thing besides getting Victor Timely was to get the teller, Victor Timely's invention. Victor Timely's invention. So, and that's the critical thing. So, Loki and and Mobius were like, okay, Loki was like to Mobius, see, that's the one who remains, and and Mobius was like really, that can't be the one who remains that can control that will control and conquer all the timelines, including ours, Loki. Like I said, by Victor Timely's appearance, he didn't fit the part of a future timeline conqueror. But anyway. But then, after some convincing from Loki, Mobius was like, okay, if you say that this nerd-looking dude that doesn't look very menacing and wouldn't hurt a fly, but if you say he is the one or the variant that might help us get control of our timeline problem, then we must take him to the TVA to help us fix the problem, and of course with a sprinkle of Miss Minutes and Renslayer. Then after the presentation, after Victor's invention presentation and showing off his teller, chaos ensued. Basically, Renslayer and Miss Minutes were like, "Hey, Victor, Mr. Victor Timely, can we speak to you? Can we speak to you, sir?" And Victor Timely was like, "Sure." And basically, Renslayer and Miss Minutes were like, "We know who you become in the future, come with us so we can show you and guide you. And and Victor Timely was like, Victor was like, okay. First of all, I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you, ladies. I'm just an inventor who's very smart, and I don't know where I got this manual from, but somebody gave it to me. Somebody gave it to me. Meaning the TVA manual, or OB's TVA manual. But then Ms. Minutes confessed that she's the reason why Victor has the TVA manual in his grasp, in his possession, and then Victor was like, thank you, and Miss Minutes and Rensley were like, you're welcome. But now that you have now that you know the truth of who gave you the TVA manual, we meaning you and us can use the TVA manual and travel to the TVA, travel to a deserted, abandoned place, and turn it into the TVA of all of to the TVA that we all want, all three of us want, that we can control. And since Victor Timely is so innocently naive and kindly and politely agrees with them, he says, okay, I'll go with you. But as Victor Timely agrees to accompanied accompanied be travel with Renslayer and Miss Minutes. Loki and Moe say, no, stop. And they introduce themselves to Victor, and they're like, and both Loki and Mobius were like, no, Mr. Timely, you don't want to travel. You don't need to travel with Miss Slayer and Miss Minutes. You need to travel with us and help us fix our TVA. Our TVA is in chaos right now, and you're the only one that can probably save us. Then a whole chase ensued. So basically, Victor ran away from both Mobius and Loki and Miss Minutes and Renslayer and also an investor that he made a deal that Victor made a deal that that Victor himself made a deal with an investor that he convinced that his teller would work for him. So after chasing Victor for a while, uh, Loki and Mobius lost track of Victor, but somehow, some somehow, uh, somehow, somehow, Renslayer and Miss Minutes were able to get into Victor's cottage or makeshift home, wooden cabin, and they convinced him to go with him to go with to the future. But then, meanwhile, 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 Loki, 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 and Mobius track or find Victor's cottage or cabin, and they look for him, but then they realize that he's nowhere to that Victor's nowhere to be found, and that basically he went with Miss Minutes and Renslayer. Miss Minutes and Renslayer. But then they catch up to Renslayer and Miss Minutes, and then both Loki and Mobius catch up to Renslayer and Miss Minutes, and of course Victor, and they realize that Victor's running away from them, and had run away from them, was running away, and that Victor was indeed inside of having a very heated discussion with Renslayer and Miss Minutes in the most unlikely of places, at or on a Ferris wheel at the basically at the fair, at the World's Fair. So both Mobius and Loki decided to go on this Ferris wheel and find, or go inside the Ferris wheel box, where Victor and Miss Minute and Renslayer were having this very heated discussion, and then Loki decided to go by himself, and he was like, Mobius, stay here. I'll bring Victor by myself. Then we will go 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 back to the TVA so he could fix the problem. So he could fix the TVA problem that we're having. So then Loki appeared inside the Ferris wheel box where where Miss Minute and Renslayer and of course poor Victor Timely were having this discussion, and Victor Timely was like confused. He was like very confused and didn't know what to do. Didn't know he doesn't know what to believe. He doesn't know who to believe. Either to believe Renslayer or Miss Minutes, or go or believe Loki and Mobius. but then as Loki was trying to convince uh convince a confused and very concerned, or both concerned and confused Victor Timely to go with to get out of this Ferris wheel and to go with him and to go with him. Sylvie appeared. Yes. Sylvie appeared and said, "Loki, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm here to basically do what I did in the first place. To kill and destroy, to kill and annihilate Victor Timely and this guy named Victor. This guy named Victor. This guy named Victor, and so we could leave us all alone, and we could go back to our regular lives." But then Loki was like, "Sylvie, no. Mobius and I need Victor alive. He needs to help us fix the TVA." Then Sylvie was like, fix the TVA? No, Loki. I thought you and I agreed that both you and I agreed that the TVA should be destroyed, or should self-destruct itself. Should self-destruct. But Loki was like, no, Sylvie. We need you and I and Mobius need the TVA to function, because if the TVA collapses and implodes on because of this problem, you and I and all the universe will have no timeline to follow and to go back to, or go into, or to go back to, or go forward to. And after some convincing, after another heated discussion between Loki and Sylvie, Victor, 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 Victor just got out. Some using a time, yes, his time, time, time pager. Victor was able to get out of get out of the Ferris wheel. At the same time, on the ground, Loki had zapped or had used his Loki his mischievous powers to zap out Renslayer out of the Ferris wheel to out of the Ferris wheel and to stand next to Mobius. And Renslayer was like, or Mobius was like, nice to see you again, Ren. And Renslayer was like, Mobius, I don't work for you anymore. I don't work for you or the TVA for you or the TVA anymore. We shouldn't be you shouldn't be talking to me. Now let me leave me and Miss Minute alone and Victor alone. He's coming with us, not you and Loki. Then after time beeping himself out, Victor was running away again. Running away from Renslayer and Mobius. Meanwhile, Loki and some we're still having their discussion about whether to fight each other or whether to destroy each other or to save the TVA and save all the timelines that the TVA obviously that the TVA used to control before having this problem that it's having right now. But then, so he was like, fine. If you want to save the TVA, and therefore me to hate you and destroy you, fine, you do that. Then after zapping himself out of, or using his mischievous powers, Loki out of the Ferris wheel. Mobius and Loki were like, come on, or Loki was like, come on, let's catch up to Victor, and let's get him to the two hour TVA. But then Renslayer was like, no, you don't. Then she told, and then she told Miss Minute to 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 go big, meaning that was a code for to make yourself big into a big animated cartoonish big loaf of bread, or big loaf of 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 buttered toast, animated buttered toast, and basically basically um scare them away and chase them down, and hopefully eat Loki and Mobius alive. Then so the whole chase ensued and chase ensued. Mobius and Loki were running or ran for their lives from this animated big toast version big toast version of Miss Minutes. Then we see that somewhere across the river from 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 the World's Fair, we see that poor Victor Timely, scared Victor Timely, and Renslayer had acquired a boat to go across the river to Victor's hidden secret laboratory, hidden secret lab, where he had a bigger and better version of his teller. But as soon as Victor and Miss Minutes got to his secret hidden lab, Miss Minutes was like, Victor, you and I can rule. You and I can rule. Can after chasing Loki and Mobius away with her big loaf of bread version of herself. Miss Minutes had basically got herself into Victor's secret hidden laboratory, where things got a little bit this oddly, wickedly, lovingly where they got very, very, very weird. very weird and very, very disturbing. So after getting yourself into Victor's laboratory or lab, Miss Venice was like to Victor, "Wow, you have a wonderful lab, but you won't need your lab. You won't need your lab for mi- for 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 mi- for 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 much for much lo- for much longer for much for much longer, Victor, because you you and I, or you will become a great leader, and I want to and I want you will become a great leader of the TVA of the TVA, and I want to rule to rule with you, meaning that Miss Minutes very was having a or had this twisted and creepy idea of basically convincing Victor to create a human body or a human version of of herself, meaning Miss Minutes, so they could rule 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 so they could so they could rule the TVA together. But luckily, before that could happen, luckily, 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 Loki, and obviously, and mummies were able to first stop the idea first stop the idea first stop the idea of his minutes to marry Vic, Victor to marry Victor Vic, to marry Victor in this creepy unholy timely time union, and basically put a stop to Miss Minutes and Renslayer's plans to take him away. And a whole great awesome fight ensued, where eventually Loki Loki and Mobius prevailed. But 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 then but then but then Sylvie appeared again and said and said and said just this time, take Victor, or Kang's Kang's nerdy variant, nerdy variant, nerdy variant, nerdy variant, nerdy away, nerdy version out of my sight, and let me take care of 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 Renslayer by myself. So that's what Loki and Mobius finally they had what they had come for. Had traveled to 1892 Chicago to get to get to get to get the Wonder Remains there to help them fix their problem with the TVA. But here's the silly part of this whole situation. Sylvie didn't stay in Victor's secret lab to keep an eye on Renslayer, but just to do what she did to the One Who Remains variant that she killed at the end of season 1. Basically, Sylvie did it again. She basically stabbed, but didn't kill. Sylvie stabbed Renslayer, but didn't kill her. But she shoved her into a timeline or a TVA timeline window that after pushing a non-lethal wounded Renslayer through Sylvie pushed, or yes, aggressively shoved Renslayer into a TVA time window, but you might think that's the end of episode 3. Well, after getting herself together, Renslayer realized that she was inside the room where Loki and Sylvie were at when they met. The One Who Remains time variant that Sylvie would eventually kill, and we thought that Miss Minutes had disappeared, or that she had died. But that wasn't the case. She appeared, or she was hiding inside Renslayer's purse. And Renslayer, after getting herself together, she realized that she was inside the room where Sylvie had murdered, or had gotten rid of Kang, of the One Who Remains time variant that was controlling the TVA. Then Miss Minutes appeared and said, Thank you to Renslayer, and said, that was a close one. Now that you are here, we can now that we are here, Renslayer, you and I are here. I need to tell you something, but you won't like it, and and guys, that's how this episode 3 of Loki of season 2 of Loki ends. So guys, thank you. So guys, thank you for. So with that, guys, thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know. Let me know. What would you do? What would you do? What would you do if you were a Renslayer and if you were pushed to into if you were pushed by Sylvie into a time window that would lead you to the same room where Sylvie had killed the one who remains time variant that controlled the TVA before Sylvie killed her. Would you bring what would you do? Would you bring the time variant that controlled Kang, the one who remains time variant that controlled the TVA back to life, or would you do something else? So again, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like and let me know what would you do if you were pushed by Sylvie into the room where she killed the one who remains time variant that used to control the TVA, and what would you do? So thank you guys for watching. Bye.